Good morning. Um, it's been only 2 weeks, but it seems like a long time. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about being curious about what's going on in your mind and learning how to interrogate your thoughts, learning how to filter them through a system of reason so that we're not taking everything that we think as gospel truth, and so that we cannot always maybe start to live that perceived truth in our head. There's been lots of little things that have come up for me, but I think in general, the biggest thing has been just this week or last couple of weeks of understanding that I'm still thinking some of the thoughts that are not serving me, number one. So being aware of those thoughts is part of it, and saying, what was I thinking of a situation? But then when I get to that point of knowing what I was thinking and how it manifested with my thoughts or my emotions and my actions, I tend to get a little judgy on myself and go, what the heck were you doing? That shouldn't have happened. All the things that we tell ourselves, like we get really judgmental about what we've thought and what we have thought and what we have thought, and then how it came out later with that thought. So, encouragement today, and also different ways of how to be curious about what's going on in your mind and approaching it without judgment. So I'm trying to give you a good example here because I've kind of journaled about a few things. Okay, here's a good one. I'm not performing up to my own standards. And then I was like, wow, humility check, give it a rest. Literally, like, I don't have to do everything myself. Putting that thought in there, like I have to do everything myself, giving myself these huge, really high, impossible standards for any human being, because I'm not perfect and because I don't always have the capacity for certain things. Producing results. I was very caught up in how can I produce the maximum amount of results with the minimum amount of effort, right? And then going all crazy on myself when I didn't reach that idea. Anyway, so there's kind of that, like, that thought that I believe can be true, right? So I believe, okay, I have to do everything myself. This is totally true. I'm all alone otherwise. There's like other emotions of abandonment or disappointment or whatever coming up. So the first thing I would love to do in that situation is just say, you know what? Like, where is this thought coming from? What are the circumstances around it? So I can't do everything myself, and realizing, okay, I'm thinking I have to do everything myself because I feel like sometimes a lot of responsibility is put on myself. Okay, great. So how strong does that feel? How true does that feel? Does that feel, on a scale of 1 to 10, how true does that feel? Okay, that feels like a 7 right now, maybe because it's been a pretty tough day and I've lots of things on my to-do list, and it just, I'm seeing all the evidence, right? I'm seeing all the evidence of these things that should be happening for me because because it feels true in my mind. Okay, so that could be one way that we kind of check up on ourselves and say, this is how I'm going to interrogate my thoughts, run it through reason. Another thing is, so we're going to test to see how true it feels, or we could just pretend that we're sitting on a couch and with a friend, and there is, like sound, mind bubbles. That's what I'm looking for. It's not sound bubbles. So there's mind bubbles above us, and I'm just looking at the picture of my brain above me on a couch, and thinking, okay, so what's going on in my brain, and how can I look at this objectively to where I'm not getting wrapped up in all the drama and all the things that I think are true. So yeah, there's another thought that I had. It was like, oh, my desires are I'm meant to have things right now and I want them to, and I'm meant to because I can or because I need it. And it's just like, what? Like, desires are not necessarily meant to be acted upon. You're meant to be purified. And a lot of times thoughts can look really pretty and they can seem like they're serving us. So it might be, I might feel good in saying I want to do all these things myself. But if I really look at it and interrogate that thought, it's more of like, no, it's coming from a place of feeling like I have to do that, which is coming from a place of perhaps victimhood, which is coming from a place of burnout, maybe. And then kind of recognizing what's a yucky thought and what's a pretty thought that is actually not true. I talk about these things mostly from a lot of experience of going through these myself, and also learning to work through them. I'm trying to think of some more questions you could ask yourself. Okay, here's a good one. Why is that a problem? That's a good question to ask yourself when a thought comes up that you're like, or or a topic that's super heavy for you, or there's a thought that's really, really heavy on your heart. It's like, why is this a problem? That's a good way to start it. And then you can go into asking more why questions, or saying, how could I have approached this differently? Or where is this thought coming from? Or what are the circumstances around this thought? Or what, just kind of like checking the mind, body, spirit check of, have I had enough rest? Have I been drinking enough water? Have I been praying regularly? Have I been reading the Bible regularly? Just kind of checking up on all your health aspects, your mental health. Have I been giving myself time to process my thoughts and giving time to, bring those thoughts to the Lord so He can purify them? Have I been taking care of myself physically? Have I been spiritually? So I don't want to give you too much, but it really is that integrated health, the integrated message that needs to be told, because when we often focus on one small part of ourselves and think that that's going to change a whole lot, it's hard to do that. Anyway, it's easier to look at an integrated approach and to see change and transformation when you are in that. I really feel like I am all over the place, and I'm not trying to be. So I'm sorry if this is not very clear, but I think the biggest thing I wanted to impart was, again, like being curious about your thoughts rather than judgmental. So instead of, giving yourself, oh, I should have done this, or I don't like it when I do this kind of thing. Rather just taking a step back, looking at your thoughts with common sense, and just being like, I wonder, that's interesting. I wonder where that came from. Why is this a problem? Asking yourself those questions and being okay with that, and being okay with expanding and learning anyway, even if it's uncomfortable, even if your brain is screaming, no, we're not going to go here, even if it feels really bad. Sometimes you have to go through the yuckiness of a thought before we can bring it to the light and choose a new thought, choose a new, better, holier, more Christ-centered thought. Yeah. So, like I said, I kind of got ahead of myself and kept going off on little tangents, but I'm bringing it back to the center. And any questions you have, you're free to message me, comment, and I will try to explain myself. Or you can, any questions you have, I'm happy to be here answering, helping out in any way I can. That's pretty much the reason I share this journey, is because that I know that certain things have helped me, and I desire for other people to know this kind of freedom and love that is available to you, essentially through Jesus, and there's no other way to say it, really. And then recognizing our own responsibility in that journey. So again, it takes two. It takes us cooperating with God's grace, and Him loving us enough to impart that grace upon us. So have a wonderful day, and I will hopefully be back on here soon sharing more crazy stories. Not crazy, more what's the word? Distracted stories. Okay. It's a part of my temperament, so I'm just going to embrace it. But Lord, I pray for the virtue of focus. Right? Okay, great day. Have a wonderful day, and talk soon. Bye.